Shri Radha Krishna Bhagwan ki Bhakti Shatak, verse number 62. Panchatattvaru aham ka भेदन करी दे ज्ञान राधे राधे
पंच तत्व अरु अहम का भेदन करी दे ज्ञान राधे राधे
पंच तत्वरु अहम का भेदन करी दे ज्ञान राधे राधे
पंच तत्व अरु अहम का भेदन करी दे ज्ञान राधे राधे
बिनु भक्ति न करी सके भेदन प्रकृति महान राधे राधे
बिनु भक्ति न करी सके भेदन प्रकृति महान राधे राधे
बिनु भक्ति न करी सके भेदन प्रकृति महान राधे राधे
बिनु भक्ति न करी सके भेदन प्रकृति महान राधे राधे
We are discussing Bhakti Shatak. This is a scripture composed by Jagat Guru Sri Kripaluji Maharaj. In this scripture, in 100 verses, he has described the Bhakti Tattva in tremendous detail. There have been hundreds upon hundreds of Bhakti saints in India. Very few of them have gone into the scriptures to substantiate, to validate the bhakti that they described. So these were the Shrotriya Brahmanist saints. Jagat Guru Sri Kripaluji Maharaj was not only an ocean of divine love, but likewise an ocean of Vedic knowledge as well. On the basis of that, he has expressed this knowledge here. In this verse, he is talking about the various tattvas of Maya. The material energy is an energy of God. At the time of dissolution, when the world is dissolved, which we call Mahapralaya, where does this material energy go? It resides in the primordial form in the stomach of God. That is called Mahodar, Maha-Udar. Imagine how big God's stomach will be, that all of creation can go into it. And later on, when the creative instinct again tickles him and he seeks to move ahead with the next cycle of creation, he then glances at Prakriti, the material energy in the primordial form, and it starts unfolding. So it manifests. From Prakriti comes Mahan, from Mahan comes Ahankar. This Ahankar is not the ego in human beings. This is a tattva of the material energy. From that come the Panchatan Matras, and then the Panch Mahabhut, and the world is created. So it is the unfolding of one energy. Einstein and the quantum physicists would have been thrilled to hear this perspective. Because ever since Einstein's theory connected mass with energy through his equation E is equal to mc square, scientists the world over started looking for a unified field theory. Now they wanted to get one equation that would tie together all matter, all energy, all forces, all into one. Over 100 years have gone by and they are still looking for it. But the Vedic perspective presented it 5,000 years ago. It's one energy that has unfolded, and hence earth, water, fire, air, and space. Now imagine this perspective, seeing space as an energy. And what about time? So for time also the Vedas say aksharat sanjayate kalaha. When God creates, he begins time. Just like you make a watch and put it in motion. Before the watch, it was not moving. Likewise, before creation, there is no time. When the world comes into existence, time begins. So all these are manifested by God as aspects, exponents of his material energy. So before this creation was annihilation. And before that was also creation. And before that was also annihilation. This cycle of Srishti, Sthiti, Pralay, creation, maintenance, dissolution is going on since eternity. Bhutagramah se evayam bhutva bhutva praliyate. When did the cycle begin? There was no beginning. If there had been a beginning, there would be a beginning to God as well. God, ever since he has existed, his energies have also existed. Ever since the fire has been burning, its heat and light have existed. Since God is eternal, his energies are also eternal. And hence this creation, maintenance, dissolution cycle has been going on since eternity. Swami Vivekananda put it well, our ancestors did not believe in creation, which means making something out of nothing. So the word Srishti, which is used in our Sanskrit language for creation, Srishti, it comes from the root Srij. And this root Srij does not mean to make, it means to release. To release. So what does it mean? God, he only releases the world. He doesn't make it. Now what does that releasing mean? It's like a little child. He told his friends, should I make a fly from my hand? They said, you're going to make a fly from your hand? Show us. So he had his wrist closed. He opened his wrist and the fly flew out. He said, see? The friend said, you had caught it earlier on and you have released it. You never made any flies. Likewise, God, at the time of Mahapralaya, he had absorbed the creation in his stomach. And then when he decides to create, he releases it. And at the end, when enough Mardhara has happened again, he takes it back in himself. So this is the cycle that goes on. And this is referring to the material realm. So Sri Krishna says, Apareya mitastvanyam prakritim vidhi me param jiva bhutam mahabaho yayedam dharyate jagat. So he says, beyond all of this creation, now we are not talking about one universe. One universe, scientists have started doubting. Don't think there is only one universe. Some daring, bold scientists have started saying multiverse. So, the multiverse theory is there in our scriptures. Loka loka pratibhinna vidhata bhinna Vishnu Shiva manadrishi trata. Whenever Lord Ram in the Ramayana gave his Virat Swarup Darshan, what did people say? Multiple universes. In each universe, one Shankar, one Brahma, one Vishnu. So in infinite universes, infinite Brahmas, and infinite Shankars, infinite Vishnus. Now all these infinite universes are in the material realm of God. And beyond that is the spiritual realm. The spiritual realm is 3/4. This is 1/4. Like, in every city, you have a jailhouse where people who are unreformed, who need to be reformed, they are kept there. Because if they roam around free in society, they will cause havoc. So the government, the law enforcers, they are firmly convinced that these people are not eligible for freedom. They will intervene with the freedom of others. They need to be behind bars. So in every place, you have got a jail. Has any of you ever been to jail? No? I've been many times. Not to get admitted to give lectures. So, these jail houses are not as big as the city itself. Now, the Dallas jail is not as big as the DFW Metroplex. It's a small place. Likewise, the material realm, you can equate it to God's jailhouse. It is for us souls who are not yet eligible to go to Golok. Why? We still got envy towards Sri Krishna. If we are taken there right now, we'll say, why is everybody worshipping Sri Krishna? They should worship me also a little bit. We have got envy towards God, towards the souls. We have got we are WIPs, works in progress. It's not that God has given up on us. He knows. He is the master craftsman. He will work us up to the ultimate perfection, no matter how many lifetimes it takes. But as yet, we are not eligible. So we are in the material realm, which, like I said, it can be equated to the jailhouse of God. Now, the jailhouse is not meant to be a place where you enjoy divine bliss. Because if the prisoners do so, then the desire to stay out of it next time will not be there. Likewise, the material realm does have suffering. Bhole bhale people, simple-minded people say, oh my God, there was a hurricane and 5 people died. I don't believe there is any God. If there is a God, then why was there a hurricane? This is misunderstanding. In the prison house of God, naturally there will be suffering. This world of ours is dukkhalayam and ashashvatam. It is dukkha swarup. It has got misery and it is ashashvat. It is temporary. Here today, gone tomorrow. But the eternal abode of God, that is beyond it all. That is Amrit, immortal. So Sri Krishna talks about that as well. Na tad bhasate suryo na shashanko na pavakaha yad gatva na nivartante tad dham paramam mama. Arjun, where this sun and this moon cannot go. So, to explain in simple words, now how to explain how that Golok is? Sri Krishna, how is that abode of yours? Sri Krishna says, to explain to you, I am using such language. It is beyond anything of your material conception, Arjun. Your sun and moon cannot reach there. This Kal, Karma, etc. have no gati, no entry out there. That is my divine abode. And once you go there, you will not come back. You will then be beyond the cycle of life and death. So that is the Amrita Swarup. The Purusha Suktam says, Padosya Vishva Bhutani Tripadasya Amritam Divi. 1/4 material realm, 3/4 spiritual realm. Now we are talking about this 1/4 where we all find ourselves. So these elements of Maya, Prakriti, Mahan. So the Taittiriya Upanishad describes the sequence of unfoldment. Tasmad va etasmad atmana akasha sambhuta akashad vayur vayur agni agner apa dabhya prithvi prithivyaaushadaya aushadhibhyonnam annat purushah savayesh purushonna rasamayah. The Taittiriya Upanishad has explained how this world unfolds. Actually, this is a matter that is explained repeatedly in the Indian scriptures. You pick up any of the Puranas, the Bhagavad Puran explains Srishti 3 times in different depths from different angles. Somebody was asking me, Swamiji, what is your opinion about Vipassana? I said, it's very good. Any spiritual tool is good. It will help you create a gap between your desires and yourself. It will give you a handle to control your senses, but a spiritual tool that is devoid of philosophy, that neither explains who am I, how this world came into being, it doesn't satisfy the intellect. Our Vedic scriptures go way beyond. So in all this creation, these tattvas, Kripaluji Maharaj is now referring to the spiritual tools you have. Primarily, the spiritual paths are Jnana and Bhakti Yoga. The Jnani says, Aham Brahmasmi, I am the Supreme. If I know myself, I know everything that is to be known. And the Bhakt says, no, Dasosmi, I am the servant, I need to surrender. So Sri Maharaj Ji says that through Gyan, you will be able to cut all the elements of the material illusion. But 2, you will not be able to cut Prakriti and Mahan. For that, you will need the intervention of Bhakti. One child, 4-year-old, he went into his puja room and started saying, Oh God, I want a bicycle for my birthday. Oh God, please give me a bicycle for my birthday. So his father came and said, Are Papu, why are you shouting so loud? Is God hard of hearing? He said, God is not hard of hearing, but grandmother is hard of hearing. God is not going to give in any case. Grandmother needs to hear, she will give. So, in this case, you need the intervention of bhakti. When you surrender to the Lord, when you engage in bhakti, the grace then comes in. The grace gets added to your efforts. The idea that I will do it all by myself is the Jnani's idea. And the Bhakt says, I will do my best. Tapa prabhavat, deva prasadat, both together. Sri Aurobindo in his book, The Mother, he encapsulated it so well. There are two great powers alone that can effect in their conjunction the great and difficult thing that is the aim of our endeavors. A fixed and unfailing aspiration that calls from below, and a divine grace that answers from above. That is all he's explaining in detail, that we develop our faith in bhakti. Let's move ahead. We are now in 63. Ati virakta kaha ज्ञान है, अति आसक्त ही कर्म। राधे राधे।
अति विरक्त वहाँ ज्ञान है, अति आसक्त ही कर्म। राधे राधे।
अति विरक्त कहा ज्ञान है, अति आसक्त ही कर्म। राधे राधे।
अति विरक्त कहा ज्ञान है, अति आसक्त ही कर्म। राधे राधे।
जीव मात्र कहा भक्ति है, यह अधिकारी मर्म। राधे राधे।
जीव मात्र कहा भक्ति है, यह अधिकारी मर्म। राधे राधे।
जीव मात्र कहा भक्ति है, यह अधिकारी मर्म। राधे राधे।
जीव मात्र कहा भक्ति है, यह अधिकारी मर्म। राधे राधे।
He now goes on to say that these paths have their eligibilities. It's not that anybody goes anywhere. Just like if you wished entry into medical school, you need to have this qualification. So likewise, the path of Jnana Yoga, what is the eligibility? What is the eligibility for Karma Kand and for Bhakti? Understand these. He's saying that Karma Kand is for those who are extremely attached to the world. So Panditji will tell you, do this puja and you will get this result. All right, thank you so much. Panditji, what mantra jap should I do which will give me this result? Arey beta, do this. Okay, thank you. I'm so grateful. So now your goal is the world. And you do karma kand for the attainment of the world. So ati asakta hi karma. For whom is the path of Jnana? Who are extremely detached, who by past sadhanas dried up their hearts. No attachment. So, in such a situation, it's difficult even to attach to God. Now, you do go by the path of Gyan. So, Shankaracharya himself, in his Bhashya on the Vedant, he explained the eligibility for Gyan Yoga. The first sutra, the first Brahma Sutra is Athato Brahma Jigyasa. Now inquire into Brahman. And then the second sutra is Janmadhyasya, third is Shastra Yonitvat, etc. So the first sutra, Shankaracharya is commenting. Athato, now inquire into Brahman. Now means when? So Shankaracharya explains. Vivekino viraktasya shamadi gunashalinah mumukshoreva hi brahma jigyasa yogyata mata. When you have acquired these four qualifications, Vivek, Vairagya, Samadhi, Shat Sampatti, and Mumukshutva, in simple terms, it means you have reached such a state that you are now completely free from anger, greed, desire, hatred, envy, tension, anxiety. You don't have perception of the body. If your family members die, altogether, there is no dhak in the heart. That kind of qualification. Now, how many people have that qualification? Shankaracharya, in his time, there's a story. A scholar from Kashi came to him and said, Jagat Guruji, please make me your disciple. Shankaracharya looked at him and said, that is okay, but you are not qualified for Gyan Yoga. So that scholar, he was a Pandit. He said, I am not qualified. You engage in Shastrarth with me, scriptural debate. Shankaracharya said, you want to make me Guru and you also want to debate with me? You have got such pride in yourself. The scholar realized his folly. He did have the ego. Jnana Abhiman, the pride of knowing, theoretical knowledge. So he said, Gurudev, how will I become eligible then? Shankaracharya said, go and do Krishna Bhakti. Shuddhayati nahantaratma Krishna padam bhoja bhakti mirte. Prabodh Sudhakar, he writes. So go to Vrindavan, do parikrama of Govardhan daily. Don't see anyone. Do bhiksha and eat. With every breath, chant Radhe Sham, and then come back after a year. The scholar obeyed. He went and did exactly that. After 1 year, he was returning. Now Shankaracharya came to know. He said, let me test how far his sadhana has gone. There was a sweepress who was cleaning up. Shankaracharya called her and said, look, you see this Vidwan coming? Keep on sweeping. When he comes close, just sweep a little dust onto him. She said, he will hit me. I said, don't worry, I will compensate. You will get 1 rupee. She said, all right then. Now she kept on sweeping. As Panditji came close, she swept a little dust onto him. He became boiled over with rage. Are you mad? You cannot see me. She started laughing. She knew he is going to get angry. And then he came to Shankaracharya. Jagat Guruji, I have done sadhana as you said for 1 year. Shankaracharya said, you have got, a time bomb inside of you. Fire burning an inferno, and you say you have done sadhana. What sadhana is this you're talking about? Go and do sadhana again. He returned the scholar. So The scholar went back again. Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam. Again came back. Shankaracharya saw, he called the sweepress again and said, look, he is coming. This time, his sadhana has become serious. If you just sweep some dust onto him, you will not be able to provoke a reaction. If you want, take that jhadu of yours, which has got excreta on it, and hit him with it. She said, will I get the 1 rupee? Yeah, you will get. She said, worthwhile. So she kept on sweeping. When he came again, this time she hit him. Very sorry. The scholar again became angry. But he controlled himself. With his teeth he was grinding and his eyes became red. So he went to Shankaracharya. Gurudev, I have done sadhana once again. Shankaracharya said, it is still gadbad from inside. He was a Samarth Guru. He's seeing the inside. He's saying it is still gadbad. You are growling from within. Go and do sadhana once more. So he returned the scholar. See, this was also an age. You read in the Puranas that the Guru would not take any disciple. The disciple would come behind, quietly do seva for 3 years, and the Guru would not look at him. Now the age changed. Now the Guru comes in between and says, please listen to me. And we say we don't have time. So if Gurus went by the old rule, they would not be able to help anyone. By force, they had to change their rule. But this scholar, he had tightened his belt. If I make any Guru, I'll make only him as my Guru. So he went back again, Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam, and he returned a third time. This time, Shankaracharya ji called the sweepress and said, look, now his sadhana has reached a very elevated level. That jhadu also will not evoke any reaction. You take your tokri of that garbage, kuda kadkat, and empty it on his head. She said, he will kill me. Shankaracharya said, the reward is going to be increased to 10 rupees. She said, all right then, put my life at stake. So she was sweeping, Panditji was coming. Finally, as he came close, she took that tokra and like you offer oblation in the fire, she did swaha. But this time, he was perfectly self-controlled. In fact, he fell at her feet. See, the provocation was increasing, but his reaction was cooling down. That is the sign of sadhana, isn't it? Sadhana doesn't mean you change your behavior, then I'll be normal. Everything has to change, then I'll be normal. Sadhana means everything is abnormal, still I'm normal. So, now she has thrown the kachra on his head and he's perfectly calm. He fell at her feet. He said, Mother, you are actually my first Guru. Because I had a big defect inside, Krodha. And you have been instrumental in getting this out. You have helped me reach the feet of Jagat Guru. Shankaracharya was standing behind and listening. Shankaracharya came out himself. Come here, my disciple. Now listen to the JKYog sadhana. So this JKYog sadhana has a qualification. Sadhan Chatushtai Sampan as per Shankaracharya himself. Nirvinnanam Jnana Yoga Bhagavatam Vedavyas has written. Look, Kripaluji Maharaj is just reminding how many people have that kind of qualification. They cannot even tolerate 3-4 words. Tum gadhe ho. Huh? And that itself will evoke a response. So, we, Jiva Matra, he says, majority of humankind is adhikari of bhakti. So, what is the adhikaritva of bhakti? Nati sakto na vairagya bhakti yogosya siddhidha. The Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu states, not too attached, not too detached, in between category. Na nirvinno nati sakto bhagasya madhikarya sau. Again, the Bhakti scriptures say. So, none of us is too detached in this Kali Yuga. And none of us is too attached either. Too attached you would be if you were getting enjoyment in the world. But the Maya Devi keeps slapping from time to time. Now you've got a knee pain, now you got this. So that detachment keeps on happening. Hence, we are all in this middle category. This is the blessing of Kali Yuga. That is why Bhakti Devi, it is said, she was worried, in Kali Yuga, who will adopt me? She was crying before Narad, and Narad said, Kalina sadrisho loke yuge nasti varanane. For bhakti, there is no age like the age of Kali, even though it is an ocean of faults. But from the point of view of bhakti, it is the best age, because people don't have all that ability, lifetimes of thousands of years, the strength of severe austerities, and they don't have that pride of it either. That is why more easily they can surrender to God. So we are in this age of bhakti, and for most of us, it is this path of bhakti. So Kripaluji Maharaj is just saying that, look, find out which path are you qualified for. Now, without qualification, people are going on, Aham Brahmasmi Tattvamasi Ayam Atma Brahma Pragyanam Brahma. And Shankaracharya himself said, Agyasyal paprabuddhasya sarvam brahmeti yo vadet mahaniraya jaleshu satena viniyojitah. If without qualification you get into Gyan Marg, mahaniraya jaleshu, you'll go to hell. Why? Because you will say everything is mithya. So the Leelas of God are mithya, God's murti is mithya. There is no Guru, Aham Brahmasmi. There is no difference. We are all in one. Now, all this is not realized knowledge. It is theoretical knowledge. The means of realization, that has been destroyed by your lack of faith. That's why don't jump into the path of Gyan Yoga without eligibility. There's a good chance you will lose your head. One more for today. Karma Jnana Aru Yoga Ko Jo Bhi Phal Shruti Gaya Radhe Radhe.
Karma Jnana Aru Yoga Ko Jo Bhi Phal Shruti Gaya Radhe Radhe.
Karma Jnana Aru Yoga Ko Jo Bhi Phal Shruti Gaya Radhe Radhe.
Karma Jnana Aru Yoga Ko Jo Bhi Phal Shruti Gaya Radhe Radhe.
अनायास बिनु मांगे भगत सकल फल पाय राधे राधे.
Anaya सकल फल पाय राधे राधे
अनायास बिन मांगे भगत सकल फल पाय राधे राधे
अनायास बिनु मांगे भगत सकल फल पाय राधे राधे.
Now, just because bhakti is easy and gyan is difficult, it doesn't mean that the difficult path is always the superior path. You know, very often in India, I'm talking about 40 years ago, when Indians were crazy for imported things. So there was a town just next to Mumbai, Ulhasnagar. It was the place where all the Sindhis who had been displaced from Karachi, etc., they used to reside. And they were experts in business. So anything they would make in Ulhasnagar, they used to put out there, made in USA. And USA stood for Ulhasnagar Sindhi Association. So made in USA, people would pay double the price. 25 years ago, when I first started going to Nepal, the Nepalis will tell you, there is one Vishal Bazaar out there. So Indians used to go, oh, I'm going to Nepal, foreign country. And they used to purchase foreign goods from Vishal Bazaar. And one shopkeeper who had a shop there said, Swamiji, we get all the goods from India. But because they are purchasing from Vishal Bazaar, they are willing to pay 3 times the price. You know, that's what the shopkeepers will also do. They will improve the packing. People said, this must be a premium good. So likewise, just because something is difficult doesn't mean it is a more powerful thing. When it comes to Gyan, first of all, it's difficult to understand. Now, if this whole world is mithya, if it's a fact that this whole world is mithya, then why should I eat food? Because food is also mithya. If it is a fact that there is one entity, then why should we worship God? Shankaracharya, when he went to Kashi and he offered his respects to Kashi Vishwanath, he started shedding tears. He said, Mahadev, I have committed 3 sins. The first sin is, I have said you are indescribable. And yet I have tried to describe you in my Shastras. I have said you are everywhere. And yet I am coming here for your darshan. I have said that you and I are one. And yet I am offering my pranam to you. So this Gyan Marg, kahat kathin, difficult to explain. Samujhat kathin, difficult to understand. Sadhat kathin vivek. The Ramcharitmanas is saying, to do the sadhana is extremely difficult. One teacher decided to test his kindergarten children and said, children, do bears have very warm woolly coats? All the children said, yes, ma'am. Why do the bears not remove their coats at night when they go to sleep? All the children were quiet. And then one little Tommy, he raised his hand. He said, ma'am, because God alone knows where the buttons are. So this is Gyan Marg. On the other hand, bhakti is plain and simple. Sarala sukhad marag yahi bhai bhagati mori purana shruti gai. Bhagati panth kahu kavana prayasa. Yoga namak jap tap upavasa. Just learn to love God. Simple. But now Kripaluji Maharaj says, whatever fruit you can get from karma, yoga and gyan, the bhakt gets it automatically from bhakti. Automatically, even without trying. Do you know why giraffes eat a little food? They don't eat much. Do you know why? Because a little goes a long way. That is it with bhakti as well. Because you are surrendering to the all-powerful, the master of infinite universes. The power of God, inconceivable. You know, the first time Kripaluji Maharaj went out of India, I had invited him to Kathmandu. I was there in Kathmandu. We invited him. By his causeless grace, he stayed there for 10 days. We did sadhana. And I said one day, Maharajji, you have come here. You must come on a picnic as well. So he gave permission. And then we said, all right. When we arranged a spot by the side, one edge of the valley was Godavari. It's a national park, and we arranged out there inside the park. And there was a seva. Whoever would like to come for the picnic, there'll be a seva. And everybody signed up. So we arranged for 20 buses to take everyone. And out there, I had sent some volunteers in the morning. And a couple of hours before, I went myself just to check that all the preparations are okay. Now he is going to come and nothing should be missed out. So when I went there, it was heavy rain. In any case, it is such a spot by the side of the mountain, which it rains a lot. And this day it was just pouring. And those days there were no mobiles. So I said, now what to do? So I realized that Maharajji will not as yet have started. The buses had already left to bring the satsangis first. So I rushed out of the garden to the nearest place where I got the public call office phone. And I called, and Maharajji had sat in the car. So from the house, they took the phone and gave it to Maharajji. I said, Maharajji, it's raining out here. And the rain was such that the grounds were all full, water-clogged. So the tarpaulins were floating. And sound system, everything was, of course, they were just sitting out there. Arey, Swamiji, what to do? So what to do? At least let Maharajji not come. So I told him, Maharajji, it's raining so much out here. He said, it is just possible. When I come, the rain may stop. So I'm coming in any case. So all right. Now I said, he has said the rain may stop. There is some secret to this. It is possible it may stop. Let me make preparations. So I rushed back and said, where can we make? This is on the hillside. So there was no water clogging. I said, let's make. In the meantime, the rain started slowing down. And Maharajji arrived there at 12:30. At 12:25, the rain had stopped completely and the sun had come out. So all the satsangis had arrived. They were all sitting. And Maharajji came. He sat there for 1 hour. He related a beautiful Kunja Leela of Radha Krishna. Everyone was thrilled. So immediately after he completed, he sat into his car. And his wife, whom we used to call Ammaji, she went to freshen herself up. His family members went to freshen themselves up. By the time they came back, the rain was heavy. Maharajji's car had left, and here the rain was so heavy that everybody was getting drenched. And there was nowhere to run because it's a garden, so it's not like this. So, what we did was that all we had was the tarpaulins. So, we said, let's lift the tarpaulins, and everybody came under the tarpaulins. So, we had 3 big Govardhans out there. Now, the cars, for his car, an exception had been made. That it was allowed into the garden. Everybody else was getting drenched. And finally, one by one, the tarpaulin moved to the bus, but naturally, even then, you get drenched. And when the last bus departed, that is when I got into the bus. Now, I was completely drenched like never before. There was a second car for Ammaji, which had also come in, but that car had a breakdown in between. So she also got drenched. Finally, when I arrived, I was the last person back. So when I reached Maharajji, he was having a hearty laugh. Ha, 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 ha. So I said, Maharajji, today everybody got drenched. So he said, nobody will forget today's picnic. So, the powers of God and the saints, who knows about these things? When you are surrendered to God, His infinite power gets added. You think of what happened during the picnic, what happened. Just think about the timing of everything. It was such a hot day, and how it cooled down, and how it's rained at the right time after we had played, and how the rainbow came, and the double rainbow right at the proper place, and then how things cooled down yesterday. Isn't it all a manifestation of God's infinite grace? So this is what Sri Maharajji is saying here, that anayas binu mange bhagat sakal phal paye. The devotee doesn't have to strive for liberation. The devotee doesn't have to strive for anything else. He just tries to love and to serve God. And all else is added unto that devotee. That is what Yogakshem means. Sri Krishna says, Ananyas chintayanto mam ye janah paryupasate tesham nitya abhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. Yoga means whatever the sadhak needs for the spiritual journey, not for material enjoyment. God gives it. That is the yoga. Kshem means whatever the sadhak has, which is necessary, God protects it. If the sadhak is doing ananya sharanagati, there's a story about Indian saints. Sant Gyaneshwar. Sant Gyaneshwar has been a very accomplished yogi from Maharashtra. And a contemporary of his was Sant Namdev. So for Sant Gyaneshwar, it is said, he could make a wall walk, etc. And for Sant Namdev was merely a devotee of Rukmini Vitthal, Pandurang Bhagavan. Once Namdev and Gyaneshwar taking a walk in a desert land, and they were extremely thirsty. They reached a well. The water was extremely deep. Sant Gyaneshwar had siddhis. So he descended, had his drink, and then came back, and he looked at Namdev. And he said, you did not master any yogic siddhis. There's only Rukmini Vitthal, Rukmini Vitthal, Rukmini Vitthal. So in the meantime, what they saw was that the well water started rising. It kept rising until it came to the top of the well. It filled up completely, and Sant Namdev had tears in his eyes. My Lord, what is this you did? So the siddhi of the devotee is God himself. As the saying goes, if God is my protector, then what to fear? मारने वाले के 2 हाथ, रक्षा करने वाले के 4 हाथ. That is where the Gita ends, right? Yatra yogeshwarah Krishno yatra partho dhanurdharah tatra shrir vijayo bhuter dhruvo nitir matir mama. Sanjay, at the end of the Gita, having described the glorious conversation, he then tells Dhritarashtra, wherever there is Yogeshwar Sri Krishna and his devotee Arjun, there you will find everything. Dhruvo nitir matir mama. Likewise, Kripaluji Maharaj says, whatever fruit you would get from karm, gyan and yog, the bhakt will get it all by the grace of God. Develop this faith and engage in bhakti. Because, now you say, why has he brought this point up multiple times? The reason is the state of society. The state of society is there are multiple paths, which is a good thing and a bad thing. A good thing is no matter whatever path you develop faith in, you go into that and move ahead. The bad thing is that there's so much of confusion. Somebody says, oh Swamiji, I've been doing satsang for 25 years. How are you doing satsang? Every Swamiji, Panditji, Mahamandaleshwarji, Guruji who comes to DFW, I go and listen to their lecture. So you must be completely clear how you will attain God? No, Swamiji, I am totally confused. Why? One said that you go on Char Dham Yatra. One said you do Ashwamedh Yagya. One said do Kundalini Jagran. One said do Vipassana. One said do Radhe Radhe. Now I am completely confused. I did little of this, little of this, little of this, little of this. This is like digging 50 wells. If you are desirous of water and you dig 50 wells, you dig 3 feet here. Arey bhai, there is no water coming out here. Now you dig in the second place, 2 feet. Oh my God, this is a rock out here. Dig the next place. I'm getting gravel. You go on digging and you get water nowhere. But when you understand, not emotionally, I like this Guruji, I like that path. Through the knowledge of the scriptures, when you get this clarity, bhakti is the path. Why is bhakti there? Through all the scriptures, through the logic, hardcore logic is what we've talked about here. No mushy things. Hardcore logic, through scriptural testimony, through validation from the statements of the saints. When you understand and reach a firm resolve, it is bhakti. Then half the journey is accomplished. The Samrasya Upanishad says, Sarvopayan parityajya bhakti mashraya bhakti nishto bhava. Bhaktya sarva siddhaya siddhachanti bhaktya sadhyam na kinchidasti. The faith, that faith if you develop in the bhakti sadhan, pass now no problem at all. Otherwise, one man wants to go from here to Oklahoma. He asks somebody, which is the road? That person says, take this one. He's on a crossing. He goes 5 miles and says, this doesn't seem like Oklahoma. He asks someone, that person says, you're on the wrong road, it was that one. Now he comes back, he takes the second person says, you're on the wrong road, you go on this one. So he's just going here, there, here, there, here, there. Rather than that, understand, what is my goal in life? Now, people do yoga sadhana with all due respect. I ask them a simple question. Yogiji, what is your relationship with God? I never thought of that till today. You never thought of your relationship with God? You're doing Kundalini Jagran and other things. So your goal in life is God realization. Second, that goal will be achieved through bhakti. Now develop the faith, half the journey will be accomplished. Because all this up, down, will come to an end. That is the reason why Jagat Guru has emphasized this point. Because as Jagat Guru, that is his purpose. We wish everybody well, you are all spiritual, but the few who have developed that faith in bhakti and wish to walk on the path of divine love, strengthen the faith, don't get distracted, and move ahead with confidence and firm resolve. Jai Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe.
Jai Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe.
Jai Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe.
Jai Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe.
Jai Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe.
Jai Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe.
Jai Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe.
Jai Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe.
Jai Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe.
Jai Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe.
Jai Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe.
Jai Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe.
Jai Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe.
Jai Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe.
Jai Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe.
Jai Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe.
Jai Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe.
Jai Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe.
Jai Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe.
Jai Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe.
Jai Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe.
Jai Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe.
Jai Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe.
Jai Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe.
Jai Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe.
Jai Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe.
Jai Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe.
Jai Radhe Krishna,
Jai Ho.
Radhe Radhe.
Jai Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe.
Jai Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe.
Jai Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe.
Jai Radhe Krishna,
Jai
Radhe
Ho.
Radhe,
Jai Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe.
Jai Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe.
Jai Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe.
Jai Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Krishna, Radhe Radhe. Jai Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe. Jai Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe. Jai Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe. Jai Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe. Jai Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe. Jai Radhe
हरि बोल।
Jai Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe.
राधे जय राधे जय